I am live. Good morning, everyone. So, tell you what I'm working on right now is I had somebody message me and then put a comment in one of my videos that their daughter wanted and needed help with starting a YouTube channel. They want to become a YouTuber, and every link that they posted doesn't work to an actual channel. But when I put the channel name in on YouTube to search for it, it doesn't come up to a female. It comes up to a gaming channel. And there's clearly, it's a guy who is playing video games. So I can't help them if I have no way of finding out who they are. Good morning, Ellen. Hello from Philadelphia, PA. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Faithful one, good morning. I mean, like I was saying, though, I want to help people. I mean, I was more than happy to answer the questions that, supposedly the mother posted and messaged me about, but I can't help them if I have no way of actually responding back to them. So, hello, Deneen from Delaware. Welcome. Did you have a great week, Deneen? I hope so. And welcome to the stream, in case I didn't say it right. Oh, we got 10 people, 9 people, 8 people. Oh, well, 9. Good morning, Kevin from South Carolina. I had a friend who I hadn't talked to, and my daughter's 23, 24 almost. It's been 20 years since the last time I talked to him. Called me last week out of the blue. He's now working at Paris Island. Deneen Bird, oh, very busy at the beaches. That's cool. I'd love to be at the beach. Good morning, Debbie. Welcome to the stream, Deb. I hope you had a great week. Liz Egan from Ireland. Welcome, Liz. Yep, United States Marine Corps. He's not a drill instructor, but he's working there. He's in the Marines, but he's a electrician. So he's there helping. I guess they have a job that they're doing there, rewiring a building that the electrical has been outdated for an awful long time. So they're rewiring the building. So no Joe this weekend? No Joe, huh? Hope everybody had a great week. It's been a busy week for me. Finally, was able to wrap up a couple of cases that I've spent the last couple of months on working on. So finally get to release those videos today and on Monday. So I'm happy for that, so I can move on. Because in a normal, typical week, I'm working on 6 or 7 cases that are sitting here on this desk where the camera is, on the tripod right now. But I have 6 or 7 different cases that I'm constantly working on, and researching, information in the background, and trying to document things that, that have been in the news. So, but finally, these 2 have been on my desk for about 2 months. And I finally was able to get the documentation and confirmation on them so I can say, ooh, I can release them. Good morning, Snowy Photography. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Carla, you will have that video right after this stream. That is one of the 2 videos that I've been working on for the last 2 months. It may be news, and in the news right now, but some of us have known that it was coming, and we were just waiting for confirmation. And in the case, the Vallow case, we were waiting for the actual court filing itself. We heard rumors about it. We heard speculation, whatever you want, that it was coming. But we didn't have any confirmation itself. Me and March have been working on it for almost 2 months. But okie dokie, exactly. That's that video about that Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell and the grand jury and subpoenas. That video itself will be released right after this stream. It's already done. That's what I'm talking about. I just spent the last 2 months working on that actual grand jury indictment. Not indictment, but the grand jury, convening the grand jury, and what charges they're actually going to be looking at, and what they're going to be putting forth in front of the grand jury. Anna Brown, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Sorry, everybody, I have to move forward here. Watch your camera. Connie, good morning. Let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Scrolling up here. Oh, I didn't miss anybody. Okay, but yeah. In case you're wondering, what do they call it? Different states have different names for actually sequestering or convening a grand jury, but in Idaho it's called convening a grand jury. You send out notices; they're secret. The notices to to get a grand jury pool, and kind of like a jury summons. But they're selected individuals from different walks of life. And maybe they've served on juries before. Maybe they are just people within the community that have a good voting record. But whatever. But I'll tell you this right now. These are the charges that the grand jury is going to be given the evidence to, and to decide if there's enough evidence to actually file these charges. And this is why I've been working on this for 2 months. Okay, the Woods and Special Prosecutor Rachel Smith are going to present evidence to the grand jury and ask them if there's enough evidence for these charges: murder in the 2nd degree, murder in the 1st degree, manslaughter, murder for hire, kidnapping, obstruction of a peace officer. Basically, that means interfering with an investigation, but they call it a peace officer in the state of Idaho. And that's not all of them, but those are the major ones. Oh, thank you, okie dokie. I do my best, and that's all I can do. But I appreciate it. Patricia, good morning. Welcome to the stream, Patricia. I hope you had a great week. Maureen, hello, Maureen. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream, Maureen. And Eve, good morning, and welcome to the stream as well. I hope you both had a great week. Hi, Will from New York. Hope you are well. Love your videos, professional and detailed with facts. Well, thank you, Maureen. I have no time for anything else in life, and if I can't document it, I don't talk about it. And yes, I am human. I am flawed. And this past week, I did make a mistake in a video, and I humbly apologized for it in another video. So if I ever make a mistake, you can guarantee that I'm going to be there first to admit I made a mistake and correct that mistake. Miss Jinx, I can't wait for the video. I'm sure it's a good one. Well, thank you, Miss Jinx. I appreciate that. Your beard looks awesome. Finally got in to get it trimmed. I got a lot of slack about that. I was talking about that on I don't know if it was the night last Sunday I did the trivia, or maybe it was last Saturday morning stream. But I got a lot of messages after that from other creators, that I talk to all the time. They're like, yeah, you really should have dyed it because it makes me look older than I am, I guess. I don't know, or it doesn't look good. This is me. But yeah, next is the haircut, and for me and for my son. We made an appointment at a barber shop where they actually, and you may not understand this, but some of you hopefully will. My son is autistic, and anything that is new and not familiar with him, you can't use shears, shears to do his hair, and any kind of like sensory touching to the head or to his body on the back, in particular, really bothers him. So you can't just go into any old like great clips and have a haircut done. It has to be done in a way and in a manner with somebody who understands where he is in sensory overload. You can't have loud music and flashing lights and there's some places like here locally that are set up to do haircuts on children. They have like little airplanes and stuff that they can sit in, and it makes it really kid friendly. But that is a sensory overload for him, and he'll freak out. He really will. So we made an appointment with a barber who finally is able to actually get customers in. During the shutdown, he wasn't doing a whole lot of work, but he actually is recommended by the local group that we belong to for autism support and services. But he also does adults' hair too. So he's going to cut my hair when I bring my son in. So we're going to do it where he cuts my hair and my son watches it. So it's kind of like not a foreign thing for him. So, and then do his and slowly work him, into it. It takes time. You have to give from the heart and understand it though. Let's see here. What did I miss? Thank you, Connie Kelly. Appreciate it. Good morning, Gayla. I'm doing great, Gayla. Inner Peas, I hope you're doing great. And good morning, Inner Peas. No dye. It's trim. It definitely looks a lot better than it was. COVID wasn't exactly my friend. Losing a loved one is never easy, and everybody tells you, give it time, but it doesn't really help by saying that. Each of us has to deal with with trauma and death in our own way. We have to find a way to get through it, because even our loved ones who do pass, we do have to at least live on in their memory. They wouldn't want us to curl up in a ball and just let life pass us by. They would want us to go on and live our lives. Excuse me. The Journey to Justice. Morning, Will, and everyone in the chat. I made it live. You did. And good morning. Welcome to the stream, Journey to Justice. And April Gray. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Do you do your own hugs? It eases up over time, the memories without the pain. Has anybody seen or heard from Lightfeather? I hope she's doing well. I haven't seen her around lately. And I know she wasn't doing well. Good morning, MT. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Oh, MT, I'm going to be doing it for the rest of the year. For the rest of the year, every video you see from me in the upper, well, except for the live streams. I can't add the actual fundraiser to live streams. We're working on seeing. YouTube says that they're going to be. I can add it in the back end after the video has been uploaded, but you have to wait so much time after the video has been streamed before you can then add the fundraiser. But we're going to try to actually do that. But every normal video that I do, you'll see that that fundraiser for next for autism or color the spectrum. You will see that on every video for the rest of the year. Now we raised what, $3,200,000 some dollars the initial night for with Mark Rober. I can speak. I really can. I can picture his face and his name. I don't know why I keep on messing it up, but good morning, Duct Tape Bandit. Duct Tape Bandit says, good morning, Will, and everyone in the chat. It's my kitty's birthday today. She is 13 today. Hope everyone is having a great day so far. Well, Duct Tape Bandit, what is a kitty's name? Inner Peas, love Mark Rober. He's got a great channel. I love the and my son absolutely loves the video he did not too long ago with the squirrels in his backyard and the basically the what do they call it, the gladiator course to get to the nuts. My son loves watching that video. We'll sit down sometimes and we'll watch, like I'll pick like a YouTube video or something, and just the two of us will sit there and watch it. We usually make, like, I make snacks like raisins and apple slices and those cutie oranges. I think they're mandarin, but those are his favorite snacks. So we'll make a little dish, for each of us of them, and the two of us will sit and watch. I'll pull up YouTube on the TV in the living room. He loves watching those things. Anything where there's like an interaction where somebody's trying to explain the actual video instead of just saying, "All right, this is what it is. I made this obstacle course for squirrels. Let's see what the squirrels do." You don't like that. If the Mark goes through and explains it all, he does a great job. That's true, Will. I lost my mama on 7/18 and it's taken, and the comment went flying by. It's taken me a long time to move anything in the house, but I know she's in the best place. So I'm starting to know my mama is okay. That's good. It takes time. I am. As soon as I'm reading the stream to see if I can find the kitty's name. My kitty's name is Witten. Is it Witten? I cannot believe she's a teenager. All right. So everybody, on the count of three, we're going to sing happy birthday to Witten. And if you want to do it in a cat voice, you can. Right. If you want to do that, you can. So on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Witten. Happy birthday to you. And many more, Witten. Meow. Have a watch some brain pop videos on YouTube. Also, Bill Nye. He loved Bill Nye. Bill Nye, a science guy. And the other one he likes to watch is you guys might even remember this from growing up, is the Great Space Coaster from PBS. Good morning, Mandy Hall. Yeah, reading Rainbow with LeVar Burton. He's not a big, I mean, the Great Space Coaster, he likes that, but reading Rainbow, not so much. And the one he likes to watch the most is Blimpy. He doesn't get to watch a lot of television, and because he might in a given day maybe get an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of television, if that. And usually it's they're quick videos, but he likes Blimpy. Happy birthday, Witten. You're welcome, Duct Tape Bennett. I care. Blimpy, your 4-year-old loves Blimpy. And welcome, Soul for Music 79. My son actually learns a lot from it. Because he like Blimpy will be doing the alphabet. Like A is for apple. And then he gives the color of the box or whatever it might be, and like D is for dump truck. So where is it at? It's somewhere in here. Well, I don't know where it is. All right. Well, anyways, but when my son watches Blimpy, he has an old cell phone that it doesn't work. You can't even dial 911 on it. It's that broken. But the screen, you can still type letters like as if you're going to send a text message, but you can't do anything else with a thing. And half the time the screen blips, flashes out. But he'll sit there when Blimpy is going through the alphabet and he says D, big D, little d. My son is actually able to go, hit the capital, the up arrow and make a capital D and a lowercase d. And he'll do that and then backspace erase. And then then when it goes on the E, he does the same thing for the E. He really likes that. If he found that as his own way to interact. And he has the headphones on with a microphone. So he has a program that's running in the background so he can actually hear himself say the words, but most of the time he doesn't, or the letters. It's like A. He knows his letters by sight, but it's trying to get him to want to vocalize. And that's where the barrier is with him and his autism. He doesn't. I mean, things are going on in his head. He's not stupid by any means at all. It's just trying to block out all the external, sensory overload that he's getting, and then being able to actually communicate what he's thinking, what he wants. Coco Melon. Sulfur music. He's a complete tool. Sixth here. Well, you and Crystal are great parents. Well, we do our best, Connie. When we had our daughter, and and now our son, nobody gave us a manual, and life is challenging, and I'm sure every parent out there, we do our best. We're gonna make mistakes, but that's all you can really do in the end of the day, isn't it? Just do your best, and put your faith in that everything works out. My son has a photographic memory. He memorized all 50 states in 2 days and capitals when he was 3. He also memorized all the presidents in 1 day too. He makes me feel like a moron. Now my son doesn't have any I guess special gifts that where he can, he's not a math wizard. He can't hear a song and then recreate it, or memorize things like that. At least nothing we haven't found yet. I'm sure there's a lot more going on in his head right now but he's only 4. And I do my best to make sure that they get him the best education and the best advantages in life. It's going to be hard. Autism is not something that is curable. You can't just give them a pill and then voila, they're fixed, regardless of what Jenny McCarthy says. You can't feed your kids enough carrots to make them, better. I fucking hate people like that. Because I don't think she's ever met any a child or an adult with autism. But she thinks that if you give them just enough, carrots, that you can cure something like that. Just makes me want to, every time I see her or hear somebody say something stupid like that, just want to reach through my monitor and just. My mom made a lot of mistakes with me, but I wouldn't trade her for the Queen of England. The perfect parent has no kids, from my experience. Easily distracted. Hello. Sorry if I missed you earlier, but you are absolutely right. The perfect parent is somebody who doesn't have children. Oh, thank you, MT. Well, I'm sure my son's going to probably grow up to he's going to be an amazing young man an adult as he grows. He there are some things that he can figure out just like that, and it's like, how did you figure that out? But I don't know, it's not easy. I gotta say, the video my son watches are very helpful. He had delayed speech. Both my boys were adopted at birth, both drug addicted birth moms, and were premature. Had to tell with my 2-year-old. My son was preemie, but yeah, and he's very speech delayed, I guess, what they would say. So like a year ago, he had maybe 5 words, 4 words, somewhere in there that he would speak. He never said, we couldn't get him to say mama. daddy, apple. You couldn't get him to say, anything like that. He knew the words. He knew when he saw the word, he knew what it was referring to. He could make the connection between the word and the picture. But now, I mean, the last year is just like a light went on, and it's like now he just half of what he says now is it's gibberish, but he thinks he's actually saying something, but it doesn't actually make any context. It's kind of hard to explain. But his favorite things to say is, "Bye, see you soon. Bye, see you soon." That yes, no, maybe. Because from the time that he was born to now, we taught him sign language, so he can actually sign a lot more than he can actually verbally speak as a communication skill. Asperger's in college now and doing great. They don't use the don't take this the wrong way, easily distracted, but they don't use the actual terminology of Asperger's syndrome anymore. But I understand exactly what you're saying, though. Good morning, Beth. Welcome to the stream. I agree, Will. My older, and I was raised with my grandfather. She took care of my sisters. My great aunt, she has autism. Back in the day, she was labeled retired, and she was my greatest aunt. I didn't know that about Jenny McCarthy's son. I mean, I knew he had autism, and she was convinced that her son's autism was caused by vaccinations. It's not how it works. I don't know how you alter the the DNA in your system from a shot, but okay, whatever. But she also preached the cure for massive doses of vitamin C and beta carotene in carrots to cure autism. I'm sure he's got the same level of on the spectrum that he's always had. Who is Jenny McCarthy? Mike Steven? Some dumb bimbo who had her 15 seconds of fame or 15 minutes of fame and has parlayed that into being the outspoken spokesman for crap on the internet and on TV. Sulfur Music, how old is your son? I noticed early when my son was delayed, he used to say, but his vocabulary has expanded. He's greatly tries certain syllables, letters he seems to struggle with. Sulfur Music, my son is 4. This many. You ask him how old he is, and he'll hold up a hand, and then he goes like this. It makes me laugh. He's a great kid. I'm still here. Actress, singer, all around bimbo. I don't have anything nice to say about her. I haven't heard her say one thing nice about anybody in the last 10 or 15 years, but she's everywhere. Yeah, and I'm not joking. You you put autism spectrum on YouTube in the search box, and she'll come up. Copita, welcome. I don't know if she's ever done porn, Real Duct Tape Bandit. I don't know if she's ever done porn, but I think she may have dated Charlie Sheen at one point. I'm not sure. For some reason, whenever I picture her ugly face, I always picture her with Charlie Sheen or somebody like that. Maybe it was Robert Downey Jr. or somebody. It was a long time ago. Georgia Richie, welcome to the stream, Georgia. Your son's autism was caused by vaccinations, and the autism spectrum confirmed it by medical records. He was developed perfect and then was given 9 shots and stopped speaking 24 hours later. The Wahlbergs, easily distracted. They just lost their mother. Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch. Marky and Donnie. Mark and Donnie, right? 2 brothers, or is there 3? I think there's 2 or 3. I'm not sure anymore. I know of Donnie and Mark, the 2 brothers, but I think there was 3, or there is 3. Well, I'm sorry about that, April Gray. Girl pause. She was in her 60s, and she may have been slow, but she loves us all. Good morning, Short Nice. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Stardust, welcome. I hope you had a great week as well. Well, how you feel about shows like Good Doctor? You think it represents or provides incorrect? I've never heard of the Good Doctor. Easily distracted 3. So next number 4. Yeah, but with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, MT, he made a lot of money. Think about the money he made back then. He came a long way from his earlier youth as being a thug, and the criminal activity that he was involved in. He went from that to Good Vibrations, and then onward to becoming an actor, and they started their restaurant chain. I mean, he's made a turnaround. He got his second chance, and he's made the best of it. Donnie Wahlberg, yeah, I think he was a host of some show at one time. I think on E Entertainment or something like that. April Gray, don't be sorry. I pick my battles. Kathy Drew, welcome. My cousin did photos of a wedding a couple years ago for the Wahlbergs in St. Charles. Wow, that's cool. Doug Flutie, son has developed autism from. I'm sorry, MT. We're going to have to agree to disagree. But yes, I knew about Doug Flutie's son. Criminal, Gayla Denson, definitely was a criminal. He was a thug, but he's made the best of his second chance. It's easy to write people off because of who they are, when they're younger, and the things that they do. But he's made the best of his opportunities to put his life back in the right order. He's doing good now. I mean, I don't think he's out there doing the same things anymore. Well, thank you for buying the super sticker there, Kathy. I appreciate it. I will be making a donation in the equal amount to the donations that everybody gives me to Color the Spectrum. I've never seen Blue Bloods. Then again, I don't get this. I don't get out much to watch. A lot of movies, and I don't watch TV. I really don't. In my weekly, and it just takes 7 days, of a week, I get to maybe I have 6 hours total in a given week that is free to do anything I want with. I mean, I could watch television, or I could watch, catch up with YouTube channels that I subscribe to, and I try to do that as much as possible, and catch up with channels that actually subscribe to me and watch their content. But I choose to spend that 6 hours that I do have available, and I go golf. And it gives me a way to decompress, relax. I mean, I turn off my phone, I put it in my golf bag, don't ever turn it on until afterwards. And I just get away from it all. Because, I in a given week, I mean, I read about the most disgusting, vile things that people have done to each other. And after a while, I mean, it really weighs on you if you don't find some way to escape it and just leave everything behind. So sure, okie dokie. Her name is Lillian. Is Lillian nearby? And how 10 years old? Wow. Ooh, that's a big birthday for Lillian. Anna Brown, I hope everyone has a good day. I have to go take care of my 13 fur babies. Ooh, wow. That's a lot of fur babies, Anna Brown. That's a big family you have there. going to check on some senior fur babies and need some homes. Take care, Will, and much love to your family. Well, thank you very much, Anna Brown. I appreciate it, and you have a great day today. Hey, Richard. How's Leslie doing, Richard? You know, both of you, and I'm not joking, every night I say a prayer for you, Richard, and for Leslie every night. I really appreciate you both, and I hope that, you know, the best for you both. Anna Brown, thank you for being good to animals. So, okie dokie, bring Lillian close by, so she can hear you, you know, hear me sing happy birthday to her. She's grinning. Okay, so that means she must be able to hear me. So, Lillian, happy birthday, first off, 10 years old. That's a big day for you. I hope you have a really good day today. And so, everybody, on a count of three, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lillian. Happy birthday to you. Lillian is a beautiful name. Before my daughter was born, that was one of the names that that me and my wife had talked about naming our daughter. It was Lillian Pauline, but we ended up going with Elizabeth Sapphire, because we wanted to keep every woman on my wife's side of the family all has a jewel in their name: diamond, ruby, crystal, you know, opal. So, you know, they're all in there, all the different gems, sapphire. So we stuck with that, you know, kept that going. She is so happy. Thank you all. Oh, it's our pleasure. Okie dokie. Kind of old fashioned. I love it. And my son's name is William Edwin. Edwin comes from that's the middle name of Tim. That's Tim's middle name. Hazel and Olive for a girl. Viola, beautiful names. Those are. Hazel would be a beautiful name. But then, you know, me and my wife, we were told before my daughter was born that the likelihood was that we would never have, you know, a second child. So we were content with, you know, having one healthy baby, and we were like, great, we'll roll with that. We never thought, not in a million years, did we ever think that we would, you know, she'd ever be able to have another child. And then, well, cancer damn near took her. And then next thing you know, I got my son. God looked upon us one day and said, you know, there's more than enough love and ability here in your household and with you two, you know, and your love for each other and compassion, that we know that, you know, and he gave us our son. I think everything in this world happens for a reason. There's a reason why I'm here today doing what I do every day. And there's a reason why you're here today doing what you do. Just remember that when in the darkest, gloomiest hours of, you know, in our lives, just remember there's a reason why we're here. There's something maybe that we still have to do to accomplish to make somebody else's life better. And if we can figure out what that one tiny thing is, Maybe it's just holding the door open for somebody who's right there on the edge of giving up, or saying good morning to someone and actually meaning it, and thanking them for, for something that they did. It could be that tiny little thing that saves somebody else or makes somebody else's life better. And I really believe that, with my entire, human, my soul, everything about me. I really believe that. We all have a purpose for the reason why we're here. It may not, be easy to understand. We may not see it. And even if it happens, we may never know what that actual goal was, or that one thing that we could have done that made somebody else's life better. Maybe it was to have your son short and nice. Maybe it was. Good morning, Colleen. Welcome to the stream, Colleen. I hope you had a great week. None of us, may ever know what our purpose was. Maybe, it was to have our children. Maybe it's that we have a niche or an experience or something where we can help somebody else out without ever knowing it. Or maybe it's just being here and doing the best that we can, and bettering our community, that we have with our presence, because we're willing to help or just sit and listen. Maybe that's, you're the one thing that you're good at is somebody can sit and listen to somebody else who is, in need of someone just to, as a sounding board. You never know. I wish I knew my reason. Maybe it's to have all these damn cats I have. It might be duct tape bandit. Where would the kitties be if you weren't there? If you wouldn't have brought all the kitties into your life, what would their life be like without you? And you showing the compassion and the love, and support for those kitties. Maybe that's what your calling in life was, to be there in that moment, to to step up and say that you're going to take care of these kittens, and you're going to do the next right thing for them. That could be it. Or maybe the kitties lead you in something else. Maybe you'll find somebody else through all your kitties, at a cat store or a pet store or something, and that little tiny piece of conversation, that the casual conversation you have with somebody, maybe that is it. We don't know. I mean, we're born into this world and nobody gives us, it's like, okay, this is what you're going to do. In 1999, you're going to have this conversation with this person, and you're going to be a good, decent person, even though you're having a shitty day. And that's going to be your purpose in life. Nobody knows that. If I knew the answer to it, I'd just, fast forward to that point, and, and so I can get it over with, so I can go on to, and do whatever the hell I wanted. Connie is mine is to keep my mom out of trouble, and just LOL, just kidding. I want another fur baby, but I'm not ready yet. We're done, Gayla. Me and my wife. I mean, my daughter, she would love to have, 5 or 6 more dogs, or, she's always wanted to, rescue another animal. I mean, and we have the space and the time, and it's just, the dogs that we have now and the cats we have now, that's it for us. Because it was a lot different, 5 or 6 years ago. We could find somebody to, to pet sit for us, but all my nieces and nephews have all grown and gone off to college, or, they have their own lives now. So it's not as easy to find someone to pet sit anymore. By being a dork. Just keep on putting one foot in front of the other and do the next right thing. If you can keep on doing that, you're all having a better day than other people. Mine was get sick. I say I'm done too. Losing an animal hurts more than losing a loved one. For me, that's awful. And I know it, when my animals are sick, I'm a basket case. Well, that's probably duct tape bandit. It's more because your fur babies are they're not just pets to you. They're an extension of your family. So that's why it hurts so much. It's because you care and and they're an extension of your family. I totally understand that. You want to say, oh, MT, I've been there. Me and my wife used to volunteer at our local ASACP Humane Society. We used to volunteer there taking care of the cats and walking the dogs. But I mainly took care of the cats. And there were some cats there. I mean, if I could have, I would have taken them all home with me. But then my wife used to joke with me that, at one point I had so many cats that I had my crazy Catman starter kit. Sorry. Looking out the window here. There's somebody in my backyard. I don't know. Could have been my daughter. I just saw them walk by in between the two garages. Oh, well. I found my fur babies on the side of the road. And I'm here for a reason. I never have had children of my own, but I will take care of fur babies. There you go. Emma C. Welcome to the stream, Emma. My husband and I wanted to get a cat as our wedding gift to each other. We ended up having a baby instead, an amazing gift we had been waiting for 7 or 8 years. Well, Emma, congratulations, on that. That's a hell of a wedding gift, isn't it? Connie, no, I don't like horses. Horses smell like horses. That's what I always joke about that with my sister. My sister has horses. She has a paint. I know what it looks like, and I can understand why they call it a paint. And then she has it's like a stablemate workhorse. That it was retired as an actual workhorse, but it's a stablemate for her other horse. So she has 2 of them. But no, I've never thought about getting a horse. That horses cost a lot of money, and a lot of money. I've moved enough hay bales for her, and helped her down the road. But no, not me. I will leave horses to somebody else. I mean, if you love horses and you want to have them, you want to ride them and take care of them and shoe them and brush them and feed them and give them their shots and everything else. I mean, all the power to you. It's just not for me. They're beautiful, but you wouldn't want one. I have bought land next to me to start building homes for seniors or any babies needed. But with COVID and the cost too much for building materials right now, you're not kidding there, Anna. Oh my God. I went to so a year ago when I started building this studio, all right? 2x4s, the 2x4 by 12 was costing about $4 for a 2x4 by 12. And I went to Home Depot because we tore half of this wall out. So there's only 1, 2, 3 walls right now. we tore half this wall out because we couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with. We had an electrical issue, and we thought maybe one of the anchor bolts had broken. So when you shut the door, the whole wall was moving for some reason. So we had to tear the plywood off in the it's not paneling, like what they call that stuff, insulation barrier, stuff. But it's plywood, but it has insulation on each side of it. So it's kind of like foam board sandwiched with a plywood in between it. It's tongue and groove. Regardless, I'm going too far into this. But we went to Home Depot to buy the 2x4s. They're now $16 a piece. I'm like, what? I'm like, I ain't paying $16 for a 2x4x12. No way. What the hell happened here? And I was talking to the guy who works at Home Depot, and he's like, supply and demand. There's a lumber shortage. And I'm like, from where? Where is this lumber shortage at? It was nice hopping on. Well, look forward to your lives on Saturday with my coffee. I get to go clean the house now. Have a great day. Have a great day, MT. And Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or PDT, whichever you want to go by. 7 p.m. we do true crime trivia, multiple choice questions on crime trivia. This weekend is general trivia, crime trivia. 7 p.m. Sundays. Cleaning the bathroom. Just as short, nice. Tim's still laughing about that. He's like, yep. Will's good to listen to when you're cleaning your bathroom. Yeah, everything went up in price. All lumber, materials. The guy was explaining to me at Home Depot that COVID shutdown, everybody's at home. So everybody's decided that they were going to tackle all the, the projects that they've been putting off. And I was like, I just want to put the wall back up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 2x4s out of 10 that are up for the wall and a door, but nothing around it. I need 4 more 2x4x12s to put up on put the wall back up. We took all the that plywood insulation stuff off it. We took all that off, but we didn't damage it. Not too much. Couple pieces but it can go back up without too much of an issue. It's America. What do you expect? We lived here for 45 years, and it's always been that way here. COVID changed nothing. Crafts too. Price of crafts easily distracted. My wife has. She's a, let's call her a crafter. Well, we can say that. She has a room full of craft projects that have been started and never completed. She has bins in there of craft items that are projects that she has started, and she calls them the bins of death. It's where craft projects go to die. You name it, she's probably done it over the years. I started my building for a home for fur babies February 2020. It was going to cost $5,000. Everything stopped. Now they want 11. So I'm on hold for the fur babies. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, that's a huge increase. $6,000 more than it was before. Whew. Price of yarn. Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law knits a lot, and she's been hitting like thrift and tag sales, yard sales, anything like that to try to find yarn that way. And it's not just the price. She was telling me just the other night, I had her over for dinner the other night. So last night I made pork loin, baked potatoes, and carrots in a demi glaze, and I cooked it all on the barbecue grill. But I don't know why I went that way, but I did. But we were talking about the price of certain yarns and patterns and stuff like that, because she also does patterns of and sews a lot with and does stuff with her serger. But the cost of fabric and stuff like that, it's not just the price went up, it's there's nothing left. The stores can't get it in because the supply chain's been cut off, because people weren't able to work, so they weren't able to push out the yarn. And she was working on something that needed alpaca yarn, so she can't get it anymore, at least not at a reasonable price, if she can find it. That girl, welcome. I hope everyone is having a great start to their weekend. I hope you are too. You remodeled your daughter's Barbie house. Anna Brown's gotta go. You make me want to stay, but I gotta go. Bye, Anna. You have a great day. Costco has pork loin on sale. Gayla, that's where I got it, and I'm not joking. The thing was like that long. I mean, Jesus. I cut it up into thirds, and I put 2/3 of it in vacuum seal bags, and then put them in our freezer. But I mean, still, I had one that big, and who am I going to make this pork loin for? There's me, my son, and my wife. My daughter's a vegetarian, so she won't eat it. And I was like, even a pork loin cut into thirds and it's that big. I mean, so I was like, well, I went over to my mother-in-law's house, earlier in the day to help her. She has this, I don't know what they call it, like a seal that goes on the bottom of a door, and it was jamming the door, so you couldn't close the door, and it had been on there for quite a few years, and it just worn out. But I took that off and put a new one on. And while I was there, I said, hey, if you're not doing anything for dinner, I've got stuff on the barbecue grill right now. So, I smoked it, the pork loin, put the briquettes on one side with a dish of wood, hickory and apple chips in there, and then the pork loin offset from the actual direct heat with the baked potatoes and everything else on the second layer of the grill. So it got a really good, slow, deep smoke flavor through the entire loin. It's really good. But yes, that's where I got it from, was Costco. Home delivery. You wish you had a Costco around there. All we have is Walmart, unless you want to travel 2 hours to Tulsa to a grocery shop, which I do not. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. We have 2 Costco's here. We had a Sam's Club. I love Walmart. I'm just being sarcastic there. They opened up right next to the downtown area, and they opened a Walmart, and then they opened they made it into a Walmart Supercenter, and then they expanded and they turned it all into a Sam's Club. They drove out all the businesses in the downtown area by underpricing every single business, and they all folded. And then COVID came around, and those businesses that were still there couldn't survive because, well, they weren't available to be open, because the state that I live in said that you can't be open. But the Walmart, Sam's Club could open, and they could have 50,000 people in their store, and you couldn't have 2 people to keep the small mom and pop operation open. So they're all gone now. So they closed the Sam's Club. You know they were making money. You're making money, hand over fist. I mean, I never went by a Sam's Club and saw the parking lot empty, but they're gone. But so we still have 2 Costco's, and they do home delivery. So I'm good. Sorry you don't have anything like that near you. I miss the park. My husband Muslim, and I can't eat it, but I can't have it in the house, so I can't cook it. I understand that, short nice. I understand that. I made wainscoting and molding. I individually stained each popsicle stick to make a hardwood floor. Really? I had a friend who made a countertop and he put pennies in it. The whole countertop on the island around the cooktop is pennies. And then I think it's 1 inch thick of some kind of resin stuff. I can't remember what that's called. But it sounds cool. Wainscoting with popsicle sticks. Connie, your Walmart sucks. I think Barry will be found not guilty. Barry Mayhew? Morphew? I can speak. I can. I don't know. I think that there's more to the state when it comes to Barry Morphew. I think that they know a lot more now. Somebody's obviously talking. Either that, or when he put the house up for sale, they were finally able to go in and do a real thorough investigation of the house. Maybe they found signs of a cleanup or something, or they found actual evidence in the house itself. Lucky Star. Hi, sir. I have a question. What is it, Lucky Star? And welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Pretty Bunkers. Welcome. Oh, yeah. The state knows more than they're revealing to us for sure. The coating is epoxy. Thank you for welcoming me. You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. I think that's what the countertop is. It's got pennies and epoxy. But he did it so each row, so it's like heads up and then then tails up and then heads up and tails up all the way around. Pretty cool looking. Took him some time to do it though. My aunt used brown paper bags cut into stone shapes and polyurethane on her concrete floor. It looks fabulous. Wow, that sounds cool. I've seen some really cool DIY things that people have done over the years, especially on YouTube. You're welcome, Pretty Bonkers. Paula Lico. Welcome from Finland. Lucky Star, my mom. So weird. The Daybell case has bodies, no murder charges. Morphew case has no body but murder charges. Well, short, nice. I suggest after this stream, you stick around on YouTube for probably about 5 minutes, and I will have a video on the Daybell case right after this. My husband uses a lot. He did our basement floor. It looks beautiful. Used different colors, such as chocolate and toffee thrown in. You can do that. I've seen it, epoxy floors where they've mixed in uh, metal flakes and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. Southeastern Oklahoma here. I live in a town with no stoplight, just a cafe and a post office. Neighboring town has a bar and a church on every corner. So literally, wow. That sounds like the hometown where I'm from, Duck Tape Bandit. My hometown where I was born and raised, no stoplights at all. Well, when I grew up, there's no stoplights. Now there's a blinking red light at the four-way intersection, so everybody has to come to a stop. So it's just one light, but it's blinking. But it used to be a four-way intersection with stop signs. But they have one bar in town, one. Well, I guess it's kind of like a grocery store. It's a Tom Thumb. That's it. And a gun shop. It's a gun shop that is more of a tackle hardware store than anything else, but it's called Mike's Guns. But we've always gone there. Even when I was a little boy, we used to go there to buy bait. Downtown is probably about 6 buildings on each side of the street. 6 buildings. It looks like marbles. That sounds cool. Mike Stevens, your mother looked like Joanne Crawford. That's cool. Used a base coat with a swirl in other colors than epoxy over it. Did I miss it? Nope. I was waiting for the question from Lucky Star. I didn't see it. Still not one there. Unless that was it. That was the question. The question was, I have a question. Oh, there we go. Lucky Star have the. Who is the most beautiful woman you have ever seen in real life that sticks out in your mind? My wife. Absolute, honest to God, truth. To answer that question, the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen in my life is my wife. So there's the answer to your question. Wouldn't that be nice, Connie? I occasionally still log in and I check to see if there's any action or anything that has taken place in that case. Nothing. I haven't found anything on the Missy Beaver case at all. No updates. There's been some speculation on some chat boards and stuff like that, but nothing new. Oh, thank you, Inner Peace. I don't know about me being cute, but my wife definitely is. Smart answer. It's an honest answer. I'm asking my husband a question when he gets back. Love to hear his answer. That sounds like a setup, Connie. Colleen. Sounds like a setup. if you would find out who killed those girls in Delphi, Abby and Libby, I don't understand what the deal is with that. There's a lot of speculation and even a lot of videos on YouTube that they believe that this other individual who has other charges looks kind of like the sketch, but I'm not going to say either way if he is the person or not. I mean, I'll give people that he definitely does match the sketch a lot more than a lot of other people that people have speculated on. I'll give them that. He better know the answer. Colleen, he better. If he doesn't answer that, you look right at him and say, what your answer is. Pick somebody, pick anybody. Well, the most handsome man I've ever seen is, George Clooney. If he answers anything other than you say somebody total opposite, or if you really want to gull him, just say, the best man, best looking man you've ever seen, and pick his best friend. No, we don't want to go down that road. That'll probably start a huge fight. What do you think really happened to Heather Elvis? I don't know who Heather Elvis is. The name's not ringing a bell with me right now. I'm sorry, Connie. I said, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm still here. You just can't see me, but I'm here. Heather Elvis was killed by that man's old lady, or him or her both. Huh. The name's not ringing a bell with me, though. I'll look into it, though. I don't familiarize myself with it. There are so many things that, so many cases that I've never covered and I've never read about. It's just not enough time in the day to keep up on them all. All right. Colleen's not going to do it, but he still better have the right answer. That happened in your state, huh? Huh. Case that I'm following out of my state is the disappearance of a little girl. She disappeared 18 years ago, and they just now the don't want to say the cold case squad, but they've never closed the case, but they're just now investigating it again and turning it over to new detectives to have a fresh new look at it. And they've opened up a website for tips and for people to leave information on. You don't think it looks like the guy? I don't know. I see some of the similarities between the guy that's in custody and he's not in custody on the charges against Abby and Libby, but he's got other charges. But I see some of the similarities between his mugshot and the second sketch, the younger looking sketch, not the first one. I see some similarities where how people are looking at the two and saying, okay, it kind of looks like him. Your general trivia could throw in some names I want to study. Your general trivia. Could you throw out some names? All right. Gotta move over here so I get my notebook. Just a minute, Short Nice. Turn my camera back on so you can see me. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. H. Holmes, John Bunyan, Bunyan, John Bunyan. Carly Simons, the singer. Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, Charles Manson. I have, so for tomorrow, where's the beginning of this? I draw a line in here because I've got so many of them right now. I probably after tomorrow I have 60 more still written down. But tomorrow we're going to do 30 questions. But there's everything from trivia questions on Orange is the New Black, U.S. Supreme Court, Julius Caesar, the Mafia, but that's just some of them, Short Nice. Hi, Hazel. Welcome to the stream, Hazel. I hope you had a great week. Welcome to the stream. 5:18 p.m. in England. There's questions on there from Great Britain, from the UK, definitely on tomorrow night's trivia. I tried to pick ones from around the world for the general trivia. Try to find. I know there's questions on Turkey, UK, law, and different physical locations of certain things that happened in the UK and crime related. Luporis, cheers. All this great evening from Norway. Welcome. I hope you had a great week. It's 6:20 p.m. there. Well, thank you, Hazel. I appreciate that. I do the best I can. Mike, how are you doing, Mike? I hope you had a great week, Mike. And welcome to the stream. Cheers. Is that it? I put my glasses on. Is that a chicken? I don't know what that is, Mike. Is that a chicken? Yeah, it's a chicken. Mike loves chicken. I'm good, Mike. I am doing great. Overall, I can't complain. I mean, I could, but I don't think there's anybody that would really want to, hear me sit and complain. Turkey, the country. The questions about there are at least one or two questions about Turkey, the country. Gobble gobble. Yeah. On the True Crime Trivia tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time, whichever. Same thing. But tomorrow night, there's a question on there about Turkey. Rooster. Now you're hungry, Interpeas? It is 12:21. Francie? Francie, yeah. It's 12:21 here in Michigan. Well, welcome from the great state of Michigan. Welcome to the stream. Colleen, 41. I'm glad the Delphi case is coming back into light. Well, I don't think it's really gone anywhere. But the more media attention we get, the better for the case. It hasn't made like the top news, on across the United States recently. I will give you that. Connie, have I ever done anything on Arthur Sawcross? That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever released it, the video. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I have. I know I've done a video on Arthur Sawcross. I don't know if the video went to the general public or if it was for members only, or if it was a Patreon video only, because honest to goodness truth, let me explain, a little bit about what I do. So I make videos, right? We all know that, right? But if I make a video and YouTube decides in their infinite wisdom through a computer algorithm that the video is not fully monetizable, and that it is, for whatever reason, I'll file an appeal, and 9 times out of 10, I win. But on that one time out of 10 where it is, they decide that it's not fully monetizable for all audiences. Pepsi doesn't want to place ads on it. It's the way I always look at it. On that one video where it's not fully monetizable, I will take it, instead of listing it to the general public, I will make it a channel member video if I haven't done a video just for them, or I will list it on just Patreon. And they're the only ones that'll ever see it. So there are videos that are just Patreon only videos that channel members will never see unless they become a Patreon member. And then likewise, both ways there. But, I spend a lot of time and I put a lot of work and effort into making the content, and YouTube decides that certain things are not for general audiences. I can't talk about, children and, and death that happens, because they always flag it as blood, guts, and gore. is been, and they say that it's been shown in the video when it never has. I've never shown blood, guts, or gore in any of my videos, so I know it's a computer that's picking it. But then when I ask for an individual review, I get the same reply. That it shows that. So I don't even think there's real people who watch these things. That gives you a little insight into the video. But Arthur Sawcross, I know I've done the video. I'm just not sure if it was a channel member video only or a Patreon video only. It's out there somewhere on the platform. Very close to where you live, about 45 minutes from the Rochester area. Arthur Sawcross is a twisted, sick individual. He's one of those people that really, really disturbed me. In reading about the not only what they know he did, it's what they can't fully prove of what he's done. But it's out there. I mean, the video's out there somewhere. It's been a while since I did it. I mean, so there's what, 400, let's just say roughly 400 videos that are on my channel that I've done for the general audiences. There's probably about 160, 170 that are just channel member videos only, for only channel members can view them from the playlist. And then there's probably about another 125 that are just on Patreon. So, I mean, if I had to give like an actual number to each of them, I mean, I never keep track of them. But just like for today, for example, right after this stream, I'm going to release a video on Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell that'll be released immediately after this stream is done. And after that, if YouTube decides that it can't be monetized, for general audiences, I'll pull it. I have to make my money. I mean, I won't ask you for money. I won't ask her for money or him or anybody else. I'm not going to ask for it. I just trying to live and survive on just what I get from AdSense for, people watching my content. Where Patreon and channel members, people are actually paying to be a member of there. And I have to make content for them. Why else would they want to be channel members or Patreon supporters, right? So it's kind of like they're paying for me to make content. So, I'll list, and I make content just for for each one individually. It's just I give them the extras. Patreon, I almost get nobody. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. There's very few people who actually support me on Patreon now as compared to before. A lot of them moved to channel members, videos, membership only over Patreon. But I get very little interaction with people on Patreon. I'll list a video that's made just for them, and I'll watch it like maybe 5 or 6 video. People will view it in 30 days. On channel member, I might get 40 who view it, but general audiences, 8,000, 9,000. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around it, though, if you think about it. I mean, I work at this 6 days a week. 6 days a week, I am here making content and releasing content and researching and working at this. You might only see 3 or 4 videos a week, but in that entire 6 days, I'm releasing content. And I probably right now, I know 3 different videos on the Derek Chauvin case, the George Floyd case out of Minneapolis. I have 3 videos on that right now that are private on my channel that haven't been released to anybody. And I'm still trying to decide which one of the 3 I'm actually going to release. Because I keep on going back and forth because I took them from different perspectives and I talked about different things in each one. And then if I decide I'm only going to release one, then I'll delete the other 2 and they'll stay on my my drive. This thing. This is 460 gigs. Everything that I make is backed up onto one of these drives. So many kids and families, even babies, have caught the COVID. They all practice social distancing too. Wow. Have you been watching a lot of the stuff on the Duggars? What a whacked out bunch. Connie, I've released what 3 videos here on this channel on Josh Duggar. I'll admit, I have in my entire life, I've never seen a single episode of 19 Kids and Counting. It's just not something that would ever interest me. I knew about the show. I knew who he was, especially after what took place when he was a teenager and his confession, that he released about molesting his two younger sisters and 3 of their friends. And I was appalled that nobody ever prosecuted him. Why no one from the state stepped in and said, "You just confessed to committing 5 felonies on the open air. Why did nobody ever step in and arrest him and prosecute him?" Even though the families may have all agreed that Christian counseling was going to cure him. Obviously, it didn't. But why didn't the state ever step in and prosecute him? I don't know. If something like that happened to my daughter, as forgiving as I am, I couldn't forgive him or forget him, or forget the case. Gross as hell. You're right, Colleen. It's gross. Amazing. Not one person in my family here have caught COVID out of 20 people. Wow. Well, cross your fingers, okie dokie, that it doesn't happen. We're not done with this yet. Oh, I missed somebody. Alpha Theme. Welcome. I'm late to the party. I hope you had a great week. Welcome to the stream. No, it doesn't. And the thing is about the Duggars, if you actually read about a lot about and look into the background of their friends and their associates, Josh Duggar is not the first person in their circle of friends and those who they knew and associated with through their church. He's not the first person to molest a child and not be prosecuted either. There was another individual who is an associate pastor at their church who left. And then later on, it came out that he had molested children at their church. And it's like, but yet again, nobody prosecuted him. I think it has to do with a lot with who the individuals are, their state, and how aggressive the DA, in that area wanted to prosecute cases. And I really think it came down to that. They kind of just turned a blind eye. They're like, eh. But I'm like, what about the children? Why is nobody speaking up and defending those children? And side note, though, I hear that Josh Duggar's sister has a book coming out. Josh Duggar, from what me and my wife have read online, that he was, first off, he was under investigation for 17 months before they actually made the arrest or the raid on his car dealership in his home. 17 months. and that there were people who were involved in and were arrested in another child pornography ring that he may have been associated with through his purchases. And I don't want to say too much on that part, but let's just say that there are people that he knew that were most likely got rolled up in other cases who may have given information to Homeland Security or the FBI or both in regards to Josh Duggar. But we can't prove that right now. It's just these people who knew him, who got wrapped up and got caught in these other cases. It's just odd how that was like a year and a half ago, so 16 months ago. And then he, was under investigation for 17 months, and now they're just arresting him. And even by Homeland Security's own admission, what was his name? Gerald Faulkner, the agent with the Homeland Security, said, in my 11 years of investigating child pornography cases, this case is the worst of the worst, in the top 5 most disgusting cases I've ever examined. Yeah, 11 years of investigating just child pornography cases. Josh Duggar's case is in the top 5. Over 200 videos and pornographic images were deleted from his hard drive, but still retained files and other links back to those files. Francis says that Barry Morphew looks like he's aged 10 years in 1 year. Well, guilt will do that to you. Guilt will definitely make you, age quicker. The government needs to make sure that have all their ducks in a row before an arrest. Yeah, they do. They do for the large part. I mean, I wouldn't say that they necessarily do. Sometimes that by making it public, or arresting an individual, a lot of other people will get scared and they'll come out, and actually give all the, give evidence or testimony, to on a case. Made me real sad because I foolishly thought they were a wholesome family. And see, and that's I understand exactly what you're saying there, Connie. And that's one of the things that made the case of Christopher Watts, story so tragic, is because of the social media the social media experience that so many people had with Shanann. They saw her as living, she had lifted herself up in life, and she had this perfect family, a beautiful home, 2 beautiful girls, and everything was going, so right, because she had purposely put an image out there on the internet that made everything look great, wholesome, all together. Beautiful home, beautiful children, loving husband, supportive, everything. And then you find out later on that all of it was just, nothing was what it seemed, was really going on behind closed doors. When you look at and I'm talking about the Christopher Watts case, I mean, I couldn't imagine being that far in debt every day, knowing you can't answer your phone, your door, your mail, nothing, because you're so far, you're sinking every single moment. But that image was out there, and that's what shocked and appalled so many people. They're like, how is that possible? How did she had this image out there? Everything was great, and and then when you find out what's really going on the inside, it's just like, ooh boy. You think he'll snitch? Barry is having PTSD from what he did to his wife. He's I don't know if he's having PTSD, but I'm definitely sure he's had some anxiety issues over the past year while they were investigating him. And I really don't think that the police took their foot off of his neck the entire time. I don't think he's had a moment of of peace and quiet, and they shouldn't have. They should have kept the pressure on him the entire time, because from the very first day that I heard about when she was reported missing on Mother's Day, of all days that she goes missing, and then he mysteriously has a reason to go out of town. I didn't believe it then. And then you listen to the story, his version of the story of what he had to do out of town and where he was going and why he had to be there. I was like, there's no reason why you had to go out of town then. It just didn't fit. If you start looking at the story and read what he said and what the evidence says, it's like it didn't match up. It still doesn't match up. And I'm just curious what his defense to it all is going to be. Or if they're going to give him some kind of plea agreement. We won't put the needle in your arm. Obviously, in Colorado, there's a moratorium on the death penalty, but we'll give you a choice of different places to go if you just tell us what you did with her. Where is Suzanne? That's what I want to know. Where is Suzanne? Tell us where she is so her daughters can have some peace, so her friends and family can have some type of closure. I was hooked at 19 Kids in County and John and Kate plus 8. Oh, I forgot all about that show. What made me look into the Christopher Watts case, they looked so perfect. Then I seen what went wrong. How she smiled on camera like that. You don't think you'll ever admit to it? Maybe they know. Maybe they know what he did, or maybe he went somewhere and they found evidence someplace else. I don't know. They obviously had enough right now to actually make the arrest and charge him with murder. I knew Barry lied when he about his whereabouts when he said he was attending a firefighter training. All that was canceled in my area. Yeah, Gayla, I totally agree. That was the big one. It was like that, and when he said he had to go fix that retaining wall, it was like, what? I mean, it just as somebody reading, and following, what was going on, it was like, that doesn't make sense. And why did you have to do it then? No, on Mother's Day. Okay. Now, I think a lot of it's called bullshit, right away on that. I don't think either one of his daughters are on his side. I really don't. I think maybe they've tried to be as supportive as they possibly could, but I mean, the women's intuition, they knew something was up there. Nah, Christopher Watts is never going to kill himself. He's content with the easy life that he has. They've made it very comfortable for him. He doesn't have to worry about somebody, in the yard, sticking him. So he's locked up with other people just like him, and he's content. He'll die in prison. Could be Kathy. She could have, turned state evidence. Could be. Maybe she told, just, maybe about the conversations that she had with him. Since they're not married, it wouldn't be considered confidential, because I believe in Colorado. I'm not 100% sure on this. I'm not an attorney, so let me put that out there. But if they were married and he would have confided in her, I don't think that under Colorado law they could make her testify against him. But I'm not sure if that's actually correct with the state of Colorado. But since they're not married, I think anything that he may have said to her, they could call her as a witness, probably a hostile witness, because I'm sure she's not exactly happy with him. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Just like Judge Judy. Doesn't make sense, then it's not true. I used to love watching Judge Judy just rail people being idiots and coming to court. Kimmy Jean, welcome to the stream, Kimmy. But the stream is just about over with. I'm sorry. Got a couple more minutes left here, and that's going to be it. But you can watch it and rewind. There's that. There's always that. Late to the party? I'm sorry, Kimmy Jean. There's always Sunday night stream, depending upon your area, where you live in the world. But excuse me, we do true crime trivia on Sundays at 7 p.m. All the people like Christopher Watts will do and have better health, dental and vision insurance than the vast majority of working citizens in America. That makes me scratch my head. That's a great country on earth. Bye, Colleen. Have a great day. And stay safe out there, Colleen. Yeah, I was watching a documentary the other night. This documentary came out two years ago, but I've been watching it in bits. I saved it and wrote down the timeline for when I've been able to watch it. So I've watched like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. But it's like an hour and a half long documentary on the mental health crisis in America. In the 1970s, here in America, the population of those who were in state mental hospitals was just right around 79,000 people. All right. 79,000 people were in mental health hospitals across America. We defunded them, took away the support networks for those who were there and who would eventually get released, from the mental hospitals, not cured, not better, but within 10 years of the actual defunding of mental hospitals and them all closing, these people were pushed out the door. And then we turned and said, well, goodbye. And you'll never guess where those people ended up going. They became homeless for a large majority of them. And now across the United States, from West Coast to East Coast and everywhere in between, jails are now the largest supplier of mental health services in the U.S. Well, we can't keep them in a mental hospital anymore because people said that was bad. So we released them out to the streets and without any kind of support network. And they, of course, they commit crimes. And we lock them up. It happened in a series of different federal and state defunding as the economy, slowed down. They said, well, we just don't have the funding for it anymore. And then there was allegations of abuse, instead of actually fixing the issue within the hospitals. But there was a period of time there from the mid 70s to the late 1970s in America. And then we just kicked them all out the door eventually. Most states don't even have one completely staffed mental hospital. Some states, they move their patients off across the border to another hospital, and they have partnerships with them to take their mentally ill and those who can't take care of themselves or unmedicated, and they just push them out the door, and then they go out on the streets, they commit crimes, and then they end up in jails, where then we end up having to pay more for it. It's like, oh, we don't have the money for mental hospitals and mental health, all right, here, so we don't have that. We're going to push them out the door, and then it became a burden on the jail system, and we end up paying more in taxes overall to house somebody in a jail, which is the worst place to actually put somebody who's having a mental health crisis or has a mental health issue. Putting them in jail costs a hell of a lot more. It's the worst place for them. It doesn't make them any better. All we can do in a jail is basically medicate you and give you a little bit of counseling, but they can't get anywhere near the kind of mental health services that they would have gotten beforehand until they get to prison. And then once we get them into prison, then we can give them even more mental health services, and we can give them more medication, which costs even more, because we didn't have the money to fund this. We now pay this much more on the other side, and we're all paying for it. Instead of fixing the problem that they had, we pushed them off into the next section of the society, and it's sad, and it just keeps on going around and around and around. Once they get into jail, they come right back out, and some of them know, like he was pointing out, about mental health, and vision and medical and everything else. They don't get that out here in society. They only get it, in jail. So if you're really mentally ill, and maybe you have a mental health disorder like schizophrenia or bipolar, and you can only get your medication when you're in jail, you can't afford it out here on the streets, you'll commit another crime to go back if you really want to, that medication and that help. You'll commit another crime to go back in. Whoop. Keep that door revolving. Excuse me. Bye, Short Nice. You have a great week and a week ahead. Robin Lane. In prison, they can have access to counseling anytime they want at no cost. I can't figure out how to get an appointment, and I'm free. That is true for the majority. Not in all prisons is it 100% free. Some prisons, depending upon where you are, state by state, they have to pay to actually see a doctor, pay to see a dentist, or to have a vision checkup, or to see a mental health counselor. They have to pay a copay, kind of like you'd pay out here if you had medical insurance. In some states, and a lot of the for-profit prison system, prisons are structured like that. They've cut costs in every possible way to make profit for the shareholders. So it's not everywhere is it free. As for you trying to get an actual appointment to get help, yeah, it really sucks. And I'm sorry that it is that way. I don't want it to be that way. Nobody wants it that way, but as long as we let insurance companies keep running the game, and be profitable for only for those shareholders, they're going to do all kinds of stuff. Example: my wife, when she got breast cancer, Robin, when she had breast cancer, the insurance company said, yeah, we will pay for the removal of both your breasts, but we will not pay for the anesthesia. She's like, what? You're not going to pay for the anesthesia to knock me out to take my breasts? And they said, no, we're not going to pay for that. Why? Well, because the anesthesiologist who works for that hospital is not covered underneath our umbrella plan. They're not part of our in market or whatever the hell it was. They're out of market. You'd have to get one that actually works within our market, and that the only other anesthesiologist that was in their market is 185 miles away. But they would approve the surgery right here at our hospital, but the anesthesiologist is 185 miles away. My wife called him up and said, I want to find a woman who would have both her breasts removed without anesthesia. You show me that woman. And she went around and around with them. And the entire time that she was fighting them for those couple of months, that going through it all, I mean, it weighs heavily on your psyche, and everything else. And, hey, you have cancer, and it's spreading rapidly through your system. We need to remove your, these tumors and stuff from your breast. But she's like, I can't do anything about it, and without anesthesia. I can't afford the $10,000 or whatever it's going to be for the anesthesia, out of my own pocket. And they said, finally they came around, they said, well, okay, we can pay for the, we'll cover the anesthesia, since, your doctors have to keep on writing and calling us and telling us you're going to die otherwise. And they finally ended up paying for it. It's sad. It does. It affects real people all the time. I had a friend who was in a car accident, broke both of his legs in the car accident, and he got the bill from the ambulance and the helicopter. They metaflighted him. They metaflighted him from the accident to a local town, and then drove him from that town to the actual hospital. It was $18,000 for a metaflight. The insurance company still won't pay for it. What was he supposed to do? Walk with two broken legs? And he's been battling them for 5 years now. Both his legs were broken. They wouldn't pay for it. Nope. We're not going to metaflight you, because they said it was unjustified use. He didn't need to be metaflighted. And he's like, so if the ambulance would have come and picked me up and drove me the entire way, would you have covered it then? Yeah. We would have covered the ambulance to drive you all that way to the hospital. But they wouldn't pay for the metaflight. Even though the doctors and everybody else, the EMTs and everybody else there at the accident said, well, they definitely had to be metaflied, because he had other injuries besides just his legs. But yeah, it's sad. What was the real reason for defunding mental health institutions? I can Google it. Just lazy. There's a lot of reasons why, but it basically came down to people, states and the federal government didn't feel that they needed to put funding into mental health services. And here in America, when it comes to mental health services, we are one of the few countries out there in the world that still does not put mental health counseling and services as a priority. You can Google that. It's sad. We still have the old boys' school mentality of suck it up. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to end the stream there, because I have just a couple of minutes before I have to make that video on Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell go live. So I have to quickly wrap it up there. Again, everyone, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I hope, if I don't see you on Sunday's stream for True Crime Trivia, I hope that you have a wonderful weekend and stay safe out there.